Interest rates are at one of the lowest points of the entire year right now, heading into the beginning of 26. And that's a big difference. Expanding our money supply because the Fed has been restricted. I'm going to explain that. Credit card loans, car loans, those are short-term borrowing rates, and they are low right now. Microsoft and Google came out and said, we're not going to reduce our billions of dollars of spending. Existing home sales, 4 million home sales annual rate. That's with a little drop. Hey, it's KP coming to you live from Corona, California. And it is just about 5 o'clock. We got 10 minutes till 5. You can see the sun still up back here in beautiful Corona, California. It's a little breezy. We were in the void, which, in case you haven't seen all the memes, is that period between Christmas and New Year's where every day blends together. Someone put a meme that said, this is the most Monday, December 37th ever. I thought that was a good one. So welcome to the void. We're almost out of it. I promise I won't bore you with too many 26 predictions, but maybe more just some highlights of some things that we're looking forward to. In our LinkedIn community down below, if you dare to comment. It's interesting. I see a lot of like fear and negative posts all the time on LinkedIn and some of the press in our business. And I get it. That stuff sells, right? My personal mindset guru, Steve Scanlon over at Rewire, we always talk about, our lizard brain and how, what's peeking around the corner? Is there a saber-toothed tiger about to kill me? And that part of our brain never leaves, even though we have evolved and we're clearly the apex animal on this planet, although some would argue that dolphins have kind of nailed it. But, it's okay to be positive, right? Like it's okay, you have ups and downs like the market, you have some negative days, as long as like we're trending positively. And I think we have a lot of reasons in our business to be, positively trending into 26. So interest rates are at one of the lowest points of the entire year right now, heading into the beginning of 26. And that's a big difference because we know in our industry, spring purchase season is kind of peak time when people start to come out of the woodworks after the void. They start going through the homes and doing walkthroughs. Maybe you get a bad winter somewhere in the Northeast or Midwest and kind of delays spring purchase season. Okay, then it expands into July instead of typically June. But we're starting the year with low rates. But it's not just that we're starting there, right? Because we've been at basically improving or pretty low rates since September. So we know that last year and this year, the Fed cut from September to December and then paused all the way until the next September. And then rates got better again. And borrowers have been watching, right? They've been watching. There's a lot of pent-up demand. We know there is. People don't stay in the house forever, right? 7 Ds, deployment, diamonds, diapers, debt, divorce, downsizing, death. Those things happen all over the time. And people do move. They don't look at their house as just an asset. Existing homeowners, even with low rates, they are going to want to move at some point when the 70s hits them in some way or another. And they've been gaining equity over those years, even if they locked in a super low rate. By the way, the reason why I don't do these videos during the day, you just probably heard like a million dings, is because like it never ends on my desk. I try and wait till everything's quiet at night. So this is one of my earlier videos. See, the sun's up, but the days are getting longer. So those 7Ds are going to unlock people with low rates. Yes, there's a mortgage rate lock in effect. It's not zero, okay? I don't care what anyone says anywhere. It's not zero. There are many, many people. I mean, if you've heard one person say it, it's a fact. And so people do wait because home prices run up, insurance and taxes run up, and rates have been running up. But so have those people with low interest rates and their equity. And I talked to a couple. We were able to find a used bicycle for my oldest daughter, and they lived on the other side of town. Let's say the rich part of town over in Corona Del Mar, away from us. So we were lucky to get a good deal on a good bike. And they said, we are in this 2.1% mortgage rate, but our house has gone up by X amount, and we just had to sell. And they're moving to Utah, right? And so they didn't want to sell because they had that rate. But at some point, something gives. And the rate lock in effect isn't permanent. but it's not nothing. And so you just got to keep chipping away, making timely texts, timely phone calls, timely social media posts, timely conversations with people. And you can't always be there when someone wants to move, wants to refi, wants to buy, wants to sell. It's hard for real estate agents and originators. Your boy here has been cooking up a couple relationships with some good texting platforms and some voice, obviously AI platforms, virtual agents. And so when we're ready, we'll talk about those openly at some of our trade shows. Speaking of trade shows, don't forget to sign up for the Mortgage Bankers Association Independent Mortgage Bankers Show. That is for IMBs. That's coming up in Amelia Island. So we are trying to get a lot of people there. It's going to be a great show. Last year was huge. And when you go into a year with lower rates, growth projected, coming off of a growth year, all the trade shows have a better vibe. They're more full. There's more conversations. There's more things you find out about that you can't when you're sitting at your desk in your routine. And not that everyone's routine, but this will be a good trade show year. So let's make sure we all hit the road. But I definitely think that, having borrowers know and formulate that rates have been at a lower level heading into this year. They're thinking about it. People can't just pick up and sell and move and buy, right? But they've been thinking about it. And so it's going to be a growth year. And so dig in, find what gets you going. If you got to recharge, go to somewhere warm with palm trees and sun or whatever. Get ready, because next year's going to be busy. Now, what are some things that are going to raise a bout of volatility in interest rates? I'll just give you a couple macro things. May have another government shutdown at the end of January. Okay, so can't even come up with a continuing resolution in D.C. We don't even have a split Congress yet. We're in a midterm election year, which always causes volatility until there's certainty next year. The Supreme Court may rule that the tariff regime was unconstitutional. So all this money that's been going to pay down our debt and deficit, which literally never happens since the Clinton era, because both parties spend endlessly. If that goes away, you could see a bout of volatility in the mortgage interest rate market. We have a new Fed chairman that should be announced in January, and then they actually go into the role in May. And don't fight the Fed. It's a policy we all know. It's a rule to live by. They definitely control a lot. But at the end of the day, our economy and American exceptionalism and innovation has never stopped. We are leading the way. Whether you believe, the GDP numbers or the PCE numbers or CPI or whatever number you think is fair. It's so funny. People believe or don't believe based on their political beliefs. Throw all that stuff out the window, right? Just watch the data smooth out over time. And over time, rates have been getting better. The economy has been getting better, despite labor weakening. Okay, so these are all things to watch. So those are macro factors that could certainly impact mortgage interest rates, which drives the real estate and mortgage industries. So we'll keep an eye on those things. I'll give you a couple other nuggets that I thought were pretty interesting to go over. Wheat, oil, lumber, eggs, all down. Dr. Copper is up, so is gold. And both those reasons may not be for why you think. There's some year-end runs into precious metals. Remember, if copper goes up, they call it Dr. Copper because it has a PhD in economics. When copper goes up, that's a sign of future growth and building and capital expenditures, which we know is being fostered by the One Big Beautiful Bill, at least here at home. But there could be some supply hoarding or some supply chain disruptions. We know some mines are out in copper. We know the Chinese government is buying gold. And so not all is as seems, right? So there's not a binary way of why things happen. It's a very big, messy asset, liquidity-fueled, globally connected economy. And so we try and navigate all these things every day. But the trend has been our friend, and housing and rates and real estate are on a positive footing heading into the new year. So what else that I think was pretty interesting? We talk a lot about data centers and capital expenditures. I am not a financial advisor. I am not responsible for your losses, only your profits. Data center build-out is a big way where AI has been making its way into every industry. Every company is a technology company because of artificial intelligence. And I know on my last video I said I wouldn't talk a lot about it. But if you want to think about where data center build-out is, America, I saw Mark Zandi from Moody's who's also an advisor for MGIC. Got to hear him speak a couple months ago. Thanks to them. I saw a clip of him today. He said there are 5,500 data centers in America, either in America built or being built. The rest of the planet, 3,500. So we are going to continue to innovate, and AI will be here, and we're going to talk about how we're getting tangible benefits from the things that we've built, and we're able to do more with less, and that's good. That's not something to be fearful about, because people will get reskilled. They will find something to do. We will make a point of it. And if you're a good steward of your people at your company, like we try to be every day, we want to keep all of our people and do more with our people. That's why we're starting in sales with our AI initiatives. Build the business up first, okay? Don't get rid of the people doing the hard work. Build the business in sales first, and then you hand it over, and then you give the people a lift with technology. We're not trying to cut costs here. We're trying to scale and keep every teammate here. And hopefully, leaders out there, if you're listening, you're intentional and do it the same way that I've been pounding the table on, because we had a lot of good people in our industry. By the way, just one last cool thing. U.S. is on track to see the largest decline in murders in 2025. It's pretty good. Fentanyl abuse and deaths down drastically. These are positive things to start off the new year. So hopefully you have a wonderful new year. I don't know if I'll get another video out this week. It's kind of light. I only did one last week and one this week. Need a haircut, need a shave, and need to actually dress up for the good people. So the year of the snake is over. You've been quietly changing underneath, and it's time to let yourself run in the year of the horse. Get out that stable and get after it. Happy New Year, everyone. Cheers.
You've been listening to KP Talks Dollars and Cents, a top-rated show for those who want to learn about the economy and mortgage environment. Tune in each week for more episodes, and please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Kevin Perenio does not render or offer to render personalized investment or tax advice through KP Talks Dollars and Cents. The information provided is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, tax, investment, or legal advice. For more info, follow KP Talks Dollars and Cents on all of our social channels.